Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pondering Potatoes podcast. My name is J.W. Locke. I'll be your host today, and we are here with four great friends of mine, starting with Lobster.
There's not much to introduce. I'm the Lobster. Lobster Mash, some people like to call me, but you don't have to say that.
And then we have Mother Hen.
Hi, I'm Mother Hen, otherwise known as Mother Spud.
We just came up with this title, by the way. And then we have Stitch.
Hello, I'm the Stitched Potato, because I can't really figure out anything that goes with Stitch, so my name is Stitch.
And Stitch, you are the... Stitch Potato, you are the twin sister of Mother Spud, correct?
Yes, quite, yes. Quite.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Potato Patent Pending.
Patent pending potato.
One of those two.
Messed it up a little bit there.
Potato.
I'm sorry.
Pending potato. You can be a pending potato.
Get it right, Jacob.
All right. Fair. Anyway, today, for the next 45 minutes or so, because that's really all we have, is we are going to be talking about what makes someone a ponderer. And what I mean by this is, what are the qualities that allow you to click with someone? What are the qualities that you share with other people? Because it's not just straight up intelligence. Because you've always met brilliant people who you just don't click with. You've always met people at the same level. And you've met dumb people who you do click with. Let's be real. And if you haven't, guess what? You're that person. So let's start off with, I know Mother Spud had an excellent idea on what this quality is that she looks for in her friends. So, Mother Spud.
Take it away.
Quite frankly, I look for curiosity in other people for when I'm looking for my new friends, because if we're all curious about different topics, then that gives us something to talk about, such as potatoes, because I'm pretty sure we had another name before we started this podcast today.
That's very
Then
true.
you
This is a
record.
good point, and we should talk about this.
First that was Stitched Potato in the background.
Yes, this is our second attempt at recording this podcast. I failed to click the record button the first time.
And I
But
told
we
him,
came up with a much better title for this podcast since then. So.
You right.
Or
At first,
I should say that
that was
patent
more
potato.
liquid gold than melted cheese, but true.
It should be pointed out that actually Patent Pending, who really came onto this podcast rather impromptu, was actually the one who came up with our podcast name. So thank you very much, Patent, for that.
Woo! I did something, Mom. No.
Yes, you did. So what is it that you think allows you to click with people when you're just talking to new people? Yes, Patent Pending.
All right. What I look for in people is really, in fact, my way of being on this podcast is kind of similar. I look for the spontaneous people who just randomly pop into my life, and I'm like, hey, you should stick around a while because I like your style.
That's a
Right.
spontaneity. So we have
all
curiosity.
right, so spontaneity, and what makes you like their style? Like, what do you like?
Yeah, that is a good question.
I like people that can roll with whatever happens, because a lot of times, let's be real, college kids change plans, especially when you are a science major, as myself, Mother Spud, and Stitched Potato are.
Well,
So
you're
our
all
Lucky
lives
me.
get
science?
really
Yes, they are.
hectic.
The
So you
large
gotta
majority
roll
of my
with it.
friends are
You gotta
science
roll like a
majors
potato
and
downhill.
busy all the time. It's rather annoying.
Indeed.
So you like
You're not lying. Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
so Patent, you like people who are both spontaneous themselves and they can deal with others' spontaneity.
So flexible.
Indeed.
Yes.
It's necessary to be like that.
Yes. Okay.
Cool. Foreshadowing to a future podcast topic, I'm pretty sure we're all perceivers here, according to the Myers-Briggs thing, but that's not our topic today. So how
Not
about
quite.
you, Stitch Potato? What is the quality that allows you to click with people, like when you first meet them?
Well, when I first meet people, I like them to make eye contact with me, but that's just not really a personality trait. I'm just saying eye contact is key. You don't want them to be shady. True.
Yeah,
We don't want
that's
no
true.
shady
That's very
potatoes.
true. I thought aren't we talking about what makes someone a
No
pondering
shade
potato? No.
potatoes.
So what's the difference between like just your
A
average
shady
spud?
potato and a pondering potato. What's the difference?
What's the difference between just your average spud and a pondering potato, such as ourselves?
Average spud. Pondering potato.
You know, I'm kind of piggybacking on what my fellow colleagues that are here with me have said. is
You're
that
so
you really just
professional
gotta
today,
look for
Mother
Fellow
Spud.
colleagues.
You're never this professional.
What? You're never this professional. Where is the lie?
Where is the lie?
True though.
But I mean, you really do have to follow up. I have to follow up them and back them on what they said on what Mother Spud and Patented Potato.
So
I don't even know what I
I
just
don't know what her
said.
name
Call
is.
her Patent.
Blub, 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 blub. There's a lot of N's and P's in that name. But because honestly,
like on this
if people aren't going to be curious with you and not going to wonder and ponder different things with you, then what is the point of that friendship?
Yeah.
Because I myself have had a few relationships of friendship. I don't know. Friendships.
Just
that's
relationships
the
of
word.
sorts,
I said
yeah.
it. I'm very sleep deprived.
Oh, that makes for
Science
wonderful
major,
podcast material.
Science major. What?
Makes for wonderful podcast material.
Oh, thank you. But so, yeah, no, there have been friendships that I've had to just let go of because the people are less boring than a bag of potatoes. Because this bag of potatoes is pretty darn interesting.
There's a potato
But
on our chemistry.
I
list.
know, yeah.
Just like
We have a spectator ion from our chemistry class. The teacher drew a spectator.
And we're all
spectators here.
So we're all spectators.
oh. Or are you spudtators? Spudtators.
Spectators?
No,
Nope, that got
spectators
really
have glasses.
Yeah, spectators come with glasses, and all three of us on this side have glasses.
That's true.
Therefore, we are spectators.
I'm the only one here who
We're
doesn't have a
spectators.
prescription on this
You
freaking
didn't-
podcast.
We're secretly gonna kick you out.
Secretly,
Gosh
this is
darn
a
it.
cult
Hey, it
about
was my
astigmatism.
idea. You can't kick me off of the thing that was my idea. Yet.
Yet.
Yes. Anarchy.
Jonathan is supposed to take over as host for me eventually. Jonathanisms, sorry.
When is Jonathanisms coming
I
on the
don't
scene?
know. But
Would he
oh
be
yes, we are going to.
potatoisms?
No, he's just Jonathanisms. But he will be
Are
hosting
people
the
gonna get
Pondering
our
Potato.
inside potato jokes?
That's the real question.
Well,
No, I'm trying to
you know
hear
what?
it.
At this point, I would be surprised if he joins us, but we will edit that out later if he does show up. So,
I doubt it.
yeah. So
He's
anyway, we'll
probably-
just continue
Probably with his girlfriend.
as normal.
that's
That's
okay.
true. Yeah. Who, from what I've heard, is definitely not your average spud.
No.
You right.
I mean, to be fair, she's also Jonathanism's girlfriend. I just want to have her on this podcast at some
She's
point.
very nice, but I feel like she's just concealing that inner crazy.
She's with Jonathan.
So
and
basically,
I mean,
what every single one of
there's
us
gotta be
does when
some
meeting
crazy
new people.
there.
I mean, we are talking about the guy that I consider could potentially one day be the next Hannibal, but
What?
I mean, I've started to go off of that
All right,
track.
we're really building
Whenever
him
the
up
guy
way
talks
too
about
much for the
fish
next
and
episode.
aliens,
So,
I wonder.
so let's try and get
What?
a little. We're building up Jonathanisms a little bit too much for the next episode, which he will have to be on.
I know.
So let's
I'm
get
gonna
back
take
on
him in the
topic
shin the
here.
next time I see him.
So, like, how soon is it? Can you tell that you're going to be able to get along with someone? Very easy.
5 minutes. I give it five minutes.
So, like, what are
And
like?
if-
Okay, so 5
What?
minutes. What are certain tells that you look for within that 5 minutes? Like, I know that if I
well,
see,
number one. What?
I know, like, for me, if I see someone like drawing, or like, if they play music, at the very least, I have like some level of connection with them. Just because I do play, sort of. I don't know. It's one of those. I mean, that shows that they're a creative person.
That's fair.
If they're
So
doing,
you look for creativity.
yeah, I create. Oh yeah, we never did me.
Yep.
But like creativity is
Gosh,
absolutely
JW.
something I look for in like everyone. So I mean, like Lobster here is a straight up poet, although I didn't know that at the time that we
I'm a
started
poet
getting
and
along.
you didn't know.
So
it.
That's
he was
true.
a poet and you didn't know it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you everyone for
dang
making
it,
the
taste
obvious
buds.
joke. And like I don't know, Anna just Mother Hen here kind of just claimed me as her best friend. That kind of just happened. So
Well, let's think back to that lovely day, the first day of college. We were moving in,
that's true. We
and
like
we went to where the free food
the free
was
food.
because
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And
I
I
was
was
sitting
like,
at this table and I make eye contact with
Yeah.
this tall blonde kid, and he gives me this look and this goofy grin, and I'm like, "Who's this kid? I don't know who this kid is." So I instantly smile back because I'm like, "Smile, that's nice." And he comes over and he's like, "Don't I know you?" I'm like, "No."
no.
He's like,
Well,
"But
see,
aren't
I
you in
recognize
honors?" And I'm like,
Stitch.
"Yeah." And he's like, "Haven't I met you before?" And I'm like, "No, but at honors." At the honors enrollment, and I was like, "No, man, that was my twin sister."
And I was like,
then we became best
"Oh."
friends.
Yes. That-
Moment when you find out that there really isn't a twin.
Yeah,
Evil to be determined.
yeah. There's two of us. Ah,
Be afraid.
Don't hurt yourself.
Dang it.
oh,
Stop it! You're killing my dreams.
Hang on.
Well, we had
We
some
need dreams in
friendships
order to be
last week,
ponderous potatoes.
break it up in here.
Yes, dreams is what makes a ponderous potato ponderous.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know.
So much. Yeah, this is really kind of the topic that I'm talking about. It's like, what are the flaws that we look for in people who we want to be our friends? What are the flaws that we
flaws of
want
good
to admit that
things.
we share with other people? Really.
Exactly.
This is Fitz here. They have to match my crazy.
Amen.
Because Patton Potato is my best friend, other than Mother Hen.
Yeah, got that.
And that's because I met her the first day, but then I don't even know how we clicked. But we clicked, and I just realized that this is my best friend.
Yeah, that's
That
really
was-
kind
Those
of
make
this.
the best friends.
Yeah. Those always do. That's really kind of how Lobster and I ended up best friends as well.
I don't know who this stranger is talking to me.
That was not the case. We've known each other for a
Secretly,
good
Jay
5
Bud
years
kidnapped her.
before we started
Ha,
talking.
I never talked to you.
Yeah, okay. We
You
knew
are-
who each other were. No?
Good
Okay.
job. That's very important before you kidnap somebody.
What?
Kidnap theory. You secretly kidnap.
I mean, yeah, that's basically how Lobster's here right now.
Yep,
Um,
I was kidnapped
yeah, basically.
completely.
And what is our topic again?
What makes a ponderer, and what do you look for that makes him a
Yeah.
ponderer?
So, like, what are things that, like, to turn a bit negative now, what are some things that, like, you can see in a person in, like, the first 30 seconds and know, like, yeah, no, we're not going to get along?
If they're giving instructions in a loud, whiny voice.
That's true.
Are you there? Hello from the other side.
Oh, goodness, we lost you for that whole, like,
What?
really good
Now,
explanation there. Okay, so, back
Did you-
on to...
what was the last
Sorry.
thing you heard?
well, the last thing I heard was which is my ringtone. So
Oh. This...
Lobster, we gonna get along just fine.
Well then, all right. I was trying to bring us back on topic, and but like more on the negative side. What are some things that you can see instantly when you meet someone that cue you into the fact that you guys are not gonna get along? And that's Lobster's cue because she said something that was really good.
If they're giving instructions in a large, loud, whiny voice. Or
Amen.
if they get frustrated easily.
Frustrated easily is a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, like not like just like anxious, like feeler anxious, where they get like all kind of adorable and whiny for a little bit, but like legit like
I am
frustrated.
angry at you. I'm going
Yeah.
to shout at you louder because you're frustrating me. That
Yeah.
kind of angry.
I get that way when
Frustration.
I drive.
10 out of 10, that's me in chemistry, but we'll just leave that alone.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay, we need to come up with another 5 minutes of content for me to feel.
Hold on. I have something that just super bugs me. If I just met you and I'm trying to figure you out and be your buddy, if I'm giving you all of my attention, I want it back. So these little things, these little things in our hands that we're kind of using to talk right now, actually, these cellular devices get on my darn nerves.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pay it more attention than me, just leave.
Oh,
Yeah.
for me, it's if they're trying to make eye contact with me, but they're casually not looking me in the eye.
Because the phone's there.
Because the phone, or because they don't like what I'm wearing or something. You can tell. It's the girls usually. You can tell. They're like, I'm slowly judging you. Or some of the
Or
girls on
let's
campus,
not-
I may like
Or
them.
yeah, I don't know.
I
will judge fashion choices very quickly. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That just being a girl thing, but now
Just gonna say, I looked rough when we went back to McDonald's the other day. I acknowledge that. Don't dare judge me if I'm driving you.
Hey, you
You're
were at
right.
least color coordinated, but I don't
I did
know.
that
I
Like-
just wear the same color
Yeah.
all over.
Well, yeah, that's what Patent Pending was doing.
I'm black.
Trying to
I'm
keep up.
coordinated what? Oh God. These pants have holes in them.
I totally missed whatever y'all's joke is over there. We have this screen in between us that will not happen next week.
See, you had said that I was color coordinated, and then I remembered what I was wearing.
Yeah,
It was jeans, but the upper half was black on black. I
Yeah.
don't get how that's color
it
coordinated.
means you
very
didn't
well.
put colors together that don't go together.
You didn't clash.
You didn't clash.
Unless
Yeah,
it was
that's
a
true.
Here's something
two
that's-
different
All right,
things,
this
black.
is getting really off topic.
It wasn't navy and black.
Dude, no.
This
Here's
is
something that really makes me mad whenever I'm trying to meet people. It's that even if the first conversation goes okay, if the next few conversations don't go well, or
yeah,
I hear things about that person, about what they're saying, I can't necessarily always agree that what they're saying, I can't always take it as, true.
right.
But for instance, there are some girls that we know, who I'm gonna just say it, just call them the girls, that when I first met them, I'm like, I mean, they're okay, they're kind of awkward, it's okay. And then it's gotten to the point where they're just ridiculously rude about everything. Because at first, when you're first talking to someone, you don't necessarily notice if they're being rude, if it's kind of low-key rude.
right.
And I'm being rude right now by pointing it out.
Yeah.
But they
This is not a politically
for
correct
instance,
podcast. Don't worry about it.
went to get, I'm going to just say get food. We're not even going to specify, because you go out to eat more than
Yeah, you're
the
right.
rest of us. So we're just going to say that you went to go get food, and they tried to act as though they knew more about your culture than you did. And
Oh.
that's really frustrating.
It's really
So-
frustrating whenever you have people who are so adamant to tell you that what you have lived your whole life, how you've incorporated your culture into your life is completely inaccurate, because they know one single person who is in your culture, and they base
Yeah.
all of their knowledge off of that one single person, and tell you that even though you have lived your life in this way, it is completely inaccurate, because what they know is the absolute truth.
So
Oh my goodness.
So
that brings us to another very important difference. Is this where you're going?
Yeah.
Okay.
prejudice.
Oh no, that's
no,
not
no,
where
no,
I was
no,
going.
no, not not
Right.
against people, but prejudice in opinions.
Oh,
If
so-
you think your opinion is right just because you know the one person, then and you're not willing to alter or add to that opinion or that viewpoint, then that is I can't talk to you anymore because that's just wrong.
Yeah. So what we're talking about here? Did you guys get another call?
Are you still here?
When?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
So I think what we're going to is what's the difference now between a know-it-all and a curious and a ponderer here? Because those are two very, very different things. I think that's what we're trying to hit on.
Yeah.
I think I think a ponderer is just someone who is curious and is going to try to seek out answers. But a know-it-all would be partially like a ponderer, but then make sure that you also know what they know.
They're not necessarily seeking information. They would be more on the side of
seeking
flaunting
information
the fact
so
that
they can flaunt it.
have information.
Yeah. So they prefer to give answers rather than look for them?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're really the people that would, so to speak, have the last laugh and things, and make sure that their word was the final word, sort of thing.
I mean, we've all definitely been there at some point in our social development. I know I certainly was. And like, there's also another thing here that's worth bringing up, is that y'all's context is very different from Lobster's and I's. You've had a little broader experience of different kinds of people. Because y'all are not homeschooled like Lobster and I were. So, like, I have much less experience with running into quote-unquote shallow
Oh, indeed. Public
people.
school is quite an experience, I must say.
Yeah. I mean, like...
Yeah. You're not really missing out on some parts.
But to be homeschooled, I would have to say that y'all get a lot less of just not necessarily social interaction in the way that you don't.
Oh, no, it's much less
but
social interaction.
with people
Unless you go
are
to co-op, which I
different.
do.
But that's
I mean,
only
it's
once
still
a week.
less. It's still less. I'm
That's
sure
one
it is.
seventh. That's 1/7.
Right.
Eighth. Fifth. I can't count.
Eighth?
I
On the
am
bright
not a
side,
math
you don't have
major.
to see that one annoying kid in your algebra class every single day. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's had one,
Oh,
so...
Right.
That's true.
But if you
Right.
live with, 6 siblings that I have?
Oh,
then you
yeah,
get
that just
plenty of
about makes up for it.
interaction, and you get plenty of annoying people in your house every day.
That's
And you
just
might
right.
even
Like,
share a room with
well,
one of them.
Well, see, and that's right. I mean, like, that's definitely not
Yeah.
wrong, because we all
Yeah.
have siblings.
Indeed.
And we just all get that. But the thing is that even though you're having that social interaction, they were raised the same way.
Yeah,
you were.
yeah.
In the same way that you were.
That's
and
not
public
remotely
school,
true.
Well, it is sort of.
Okay, it's
It
sort
is-
of
I
true.
mean,
There's
for the most
there's different
part, it
expectations. Again, foreshadowing on a different topic, but there's
I get
always
that.
different
I'm
expectations.
the oldest, but...
Yeah,
I mean,
between people, but like culturally, yeah, there's like
within
one
the
way.
family.
But by the same token, you guys were all raised in public school and like go to the same public school. So like y'all are even more uniform and weird than we are. So
Yeah, we're just quirky and weird.
yeah.
Well, I
We're
mean,
uniform and weird.
the twins here went to Owasso in Oklahoma.
Right, I know
but
you guys went to different schools,
I was
but
Texas, so
so at least a
there's
little
there's
closer
definitely
to
some
us.
differences there. Like,
Yeah, different.
huh?
And I'm
Yeah.
sure every school has its own unique flavor in some way.
Oh yeah, I mean like
You
our
want to get
college.
technical in the same school system. Every like step of the way is a new flavor. Like middle school versus high school. Like,
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
it's like you go.
I'd have to say, I think my high school is a loaded baked potato.
Oh goodness.
This is
Yeah,
just is this going to be like a persistent thing for
Yes,
as long as
course
this
it's a running
podcast
gag.
goes
Yes.
on?
We're gonna have something
All
different
right.
every way.
How could you
No,
expect
but
any
see, I
differently?
mean, with the way that public school really worked, with each school that you went to, I know for a fact that we went to like 7 different schools in the same city, because based on, we went to 2 different elementary schools because we moved. And then there's a 6th grade center, 7th grade center, 8th grade center, mid-high, and high school.
Wow.
That's
That is
7.
a lot of
And
schools.
with each one, it's kind of like, okay, imagine a potato bar. Hear me out. You get a big potato, and then you go through, and you're getting all your toppings, okay? There's like bacon bits, chives,
3 different types of cheese and
sour cream, chili if you want it, like
some salsa for no reason.
salsa because you never know. Like, I mean, it's a hot mess, and you can add what you want to it. And along that same line, you can also keep what you don't want off of it. And I mean,
And at some point, if you decide your potato has gotten a little too far out of hand, you can go and start over with a new potato, which is like going to a different school.
Wouldn't that be a
Here's
different
the
potato
lie.
bar though? Or so like So
What?
what are those? So that brings us back to the. So you guys can like pick and choose because you have more choice. That's definitely true. Uh, I know since going to college, like having slightly more choice in friends is to say choice in friends.
Slightly.
I don't know.
They have a larger selection.
They. You're still the best pick. Don't worry. But
The potato bar is a menace.
huh?
This is like a triple potato bar.
But here you gotta make sure you get exactly what you want on your potato because you don't want to have to get a new potato.
The line to get the beginning of the
Exactly.
potato bar.
That's
is
very
long
true for
that.
But like bringing this back to the whole what is the quality that you look for people thing.
Potato bars.
Yes, what is the potato topping that you most like and most like other people to like as well? I used to think like, and based on my experience of like running into public schoolers primarily at church, I had pretty good evidence for that homeschoolers were far, far superior to public schoolers. And then I met like a bunch of you guys in the honors program, and I'm like, how are y'all not homeschooled? So that's
Right.
like an interesting
Yeah.
prejudice of quality, I suppose,
Yeah.
or bias.
Yes. Bias.
That and you know a
I've
lot of.
noticed that across.
Go ahead.
Sorry, not to interrupt you, but I've noticed that across the board is that most homeschoolers, because you typically don't know any different, seem to think that homeschooling is way superior to public school. And I can agree on most parts. But the thing with public school that you have to remember is that being in a building with a ton of other kids it's going to change the way you think on things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's not necessarily a bad thing.
And there's more of
Right,
a
I don't
pressure to be
disagree.
outstanding in a setting where you're just surrounded by all of these people who have the same amount of potential as you to like potentially be great about something. So it, in a way, I know personally for me in my high school, it was with our dual credit system that this really showed, because if you wanted to stay in the top 10%, which was super important for college apps and such, you had to take dual credit classes. And so there was all of this immense pressure on all of us that were intellectually gifted to take those classes. I mean, so I guess some of that pressure you wouldn't necessarily get in a homeschool setting where it's kind of
Unless
you
your
have the
parents.
That's not
to
the
just
case
do
at
what-
all.
Unless your parents.
Like because it's just you though, the pressure is like instead of being like broad and universal to an extent, like you're a part of this group, ergo you are under pressure. It's you are my firstborn kid, so you're part of this pressure,
Right.
sort of. And
Well,
like
I
that's
get
not
some
to
of
say that
that,
that's
too. I
necessarily
was
a
the
bad thing.
firstborn.
It's definitely helpful to motivate, teenagers who don't like doing things. But
I can retweet that.
but anyway, all right, we're at 30 minutes here, so let's start bringing in final thoughts.
Washing the potatoes.
Yes.
To get them ready to bake.
We're getting ready to wash the potatoes so they can be baked.
I'm not sure if
for
you're speaking
next time.
literally or not at this point, because like your dorm has a kitchen, so I've about given up on this analogy. But yeah, that's basically what the pressures of senior year in high school are, right? It's just like washing of the potato. That just sounded
Scrub
weird.
the potato.
Harsh. Prepare that potato for the oven.
And you got to make sure you picked a pondering potato.
That is true. That is true.
Full circle. Full circle. Nailed it.
All
We
right.
brought it around.
We brought it
got to
around,
the
people.
conclusion to the introduction.
Audience, if you want to continue to be a ponderous potato
Or a pondering potato.
or a pondering potato,
Just a ponder. It's not going to be
Or a
pondering
ponder.
potatoes.
it's going to be pondering potatoes.
It
The
might be.
podcast is going to be pondering potatoes.
It must be.
Yes.
There's no way around
universe in which it is not.
And our lovely, lovely audience, who doesn't exist yet, but I hope will in the future. If
Goodbye.
you yourself
Or not.
want to be a pondering potato, subscribe and all of that. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening.
That was so smooth.
And thank you guys so much for calling. And we will see you guys in the next episode.